We have prisoner calling from Texas. Prisoner 24601 is the call sign that they went with. I don't know if that's a reference to something and I'm just like illiterate and I don't know.
I'm not getting the reference either. So
okay, well, I'm gonna say prisoner for sure. Prisoner, you are live on Truth Wanted. What's going on?
Hello, John. Hello, Dan. I'm told my volume was low. Am I reaching? Am I coming through?
You sound perfectly great to me. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay, great. Prisoner 24601 is from Les Mis. That's Jean Valjean's prison.
Oh, I have not seen Les Mis. Have you seen Les Mis?
I've seen Les Mis. I'm not a fan of Les Mis, but
sorry.
I know it's controversial.
That's a hot take.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
Hey, you don't apologize for your feelings. You know, we'll talk about hot takes on Les Mis later. Prisoner, what do you got for us?
Well, I have two stories, very short stories, about teaching religion in public school. One really good, one really bad.
Okay.
In high school, I was in a small town, typical little 3A high school here in North Texas in the 70s, and they offered a kind of a Bible survey course. Old Testament, New Testament, these are the prophecy books, these are the poetry books, etc. And it was very, vanilla, very even-handed. But on several occasions, someone would ask what you would call a sectarian question. They would ask the teacher, well, did that really happen, or is that true? And Miss Chapman, bless her, said, I can't answer that question because of the separation of church and state.
Hell yeah, okay.
She just taught it as history and literature and would not answer those kinds of questions. So my point being, religion can be taught. This was 50 years ago in a small town.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be done, but but there will be, of course, widespread abuse if it is done. Now,
yeah, this is in response for those who are listening and aren't listening live. We have a chat poll going on right now saying, can religion be taught in schools? And if you want my take on it, yes, I obviously think it can be, but I agree with you that if you're going to be teaching it in, say, like Texas, it's probably not going to, there are loopholes or there's not enough oversight to enforce that in the way that we would all want it and hope to be. So it's kind of I don't know, it's a tricky situation. But anyway, Prisoner, it sounds like you're a fan of keeping it separate, or teaching it, I guess, teaching religion in schools. You think it can be done?
Well, it was done in the 70s in a small Texas town, so that demonstrates that it is possible. But like I say, there will be widespread abuse of that.
For sure.
But
I think I agree with you there.
My second little bit is a little more disturbing. In 7th grade, we had a wonderful math teacher who was funny and a tiny little woman, about 112 years old. Everybody loved her. Well, one day she took a big chunk of class to tell us about the missing day. That's still going around. You know about the missing day?
The missing day? You mean like how we have like leap year?
No. This was about 1970, so the space program and NASA, this was very much in the news. And she said, well, when NASA was planning the moonshots, they found a discrepancy. There was a missing day in the cosmological order. So they went back to the Bible and found out it was when God stopped the sun for Joshua. And the 7th grader, I knew, number one, there's no cosmological calendar. They couldn't possibly have known that. And why are you telling this in math class? You have no business doing this. I was indignant even as a 7th grader that she would bring this religious bullshit into math class. So it can go either way.
Wow.
I've never heard of that before. Have you heard of that, John, about missing day?
No, that's news to me.
That's so funny because there is like a passage in Joshua, but isn't it like I guess they pause the sun in the sky in the book of Joshua so that they can keep fighting is the story. So I guess that's what that's related to. But man,
that's still going around as a thing. People are still touting that.
I can see it now. That's like that's a boomer Facebook post of being like, hey, did you know NASA had to stop? NASA had to go to the Bible to figure out why their calculations weren't. Yeah, I could totally see it.
For sure. There's a big difference in this. This is where the big difference in being in the USA and the UK is,
Yeah.
because a math teacher, a geography teacher in the UK would never like stop a class to talk about this. And I had religious studies in high school, but we learned about loads of them. You know, the big three, obviously, Christianity and Hinduism and Islam, was like, this is what the folks believe in these countries, and this is what they're taught. Obviously, you don't have to accept this as true, but this is, you know, it's just more of an information thing. I found out 10 years after I finished high school that my geography teacher was a Jehovah's Witness. That's how like little we knew about our teacher's religion. Like, had no idea. He'd never brought it up, and then friended him on Facebook and saw that he was a Jehovah's Witness. Had zero clue. And that's just like how different it is over there compared to here. You just like, it's such a like inverted thing. Like, oh, I'm religious, but we don't know about, you know.
It's a denomination thing too, though, I think, because I learned evolution from the lady that went to my church. Actually, she was a science teacher, but also happened to go to the same Methodist church I grew up in. But you know, like Methodists don't. Most of them, well, there's a spectrum with Methodists, but a lot of them don't care about evolution. Like they were totally fine with it. And so I think like it's a Southern evangelical thing that's kind of happening there too. I don't know, because I can also see the other way around, where your science teacher is also the lady that goes to church with you, and it probably doesn't want to teach about evolution or something like that, right?
Maybe.
Yeah,
that's paradoxical, John. That's paradoxical, because the Jehovah's Witnesses are notoriously anti-education. The fact that your teacher went to school and got a degree and was a teacher makes him the.
It is interesting. Yeah, actually, that you point that out. But maybe they came to Jehovah's Witness after they got the degree. I don't know.
That could have happened.
Yeah.
But again, like even over there, that every section of religious denomination is treated differently. You know, I know a few people over there who are Mormons who would never like think about going on a mission, or, you know.
Maybe Americans are just not very thoughtful of other people. I think that's probably what it is. You know, but
present company excluded.
John, my best to Lisa. How's she doing?
She's still pooping things out every single day. You know, that's how the universe came to be. A rainbow giraffe pooped the universe into existence. That's, you know.
Is there a Lisa Rainbow Giraffe T-shirt? Are those available? Can I get one of those?
There are, if you search in the right places. I'm not going to promote where you can get those, but they are definitely available. Gotcha. You know, you just need to know where to look.
Gotcha.
Yeah, John the Skeptic has a YouTube channel. That's a fact.
I can't see
that's a fact I can talk about, I think.
That's a fact. Yeah.
You know. But anyway, thanks for sharing those stories, prisoner. Was there anything else you wanted to add before you let you go?
I did very quickly. A brilliant first answer on oral sex during the apocalypse. I wouldn't know if I was coming or going.
Hey.
Oh my God! I'm regretting all of this already. Oh my God. Okay. All right. I'll let you go, prisoner. Thank you for the call.
Have a good one.
You too. Thanks for the stories.